Hello, and welcome to Reality TV News Update, where you'll find the most recent news, entertaining moments, and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. Plus, Savannah and Rizzo share their thoughts on returning. The On Fire podcast is back for Survivor 49, with Survivor host Jeff Probst, producer Jeff Wolf, and Survivor Cambodia winner Jeremy Collins. In the latest episode, they cover the season finale, including whether a player is ever off the table in voting them out because they have an idol or advantage, especially at a crucial moment like the final five. Jeremy responds that this is not the case because players must outmaneuver that player. For instance, players could have incentivized Rizzo not to play his idol once more and show that move off to the jury by claiming he didn't need to do so for 10 tribal councils, or by trying to drive a wedge between Savannah and Rizzo. Probst interjects and says that players need to find exactly what drives other people for what Jeremy is saying to work, which was the case back in Survivor Micronesia when the Black Widow Brigade gave Eric Reichenbach his immunity, which led to him being immediately voted out. Probst surprisingly reveals he regrets calling it a dumb move, as Eric was just a kid whose integrity meter was tested. As said on social media, there will be a new Survivor 50 game across the United States where people can find real hidden immunity idols in all 50 states. Probst calls it a nationwide Survivor scavenger hunt beginning on January 30th, 2026. Probst also adds that the prizes for the winners are pretty good. For fans who want to participate, they will have to sign up, as clues will be sent in late January. The website is survivor50challenge.com. Later, Rizzo is asked how he managed to survive several tribal councils with his idol in his pocket. Rizzo responds that he was approachable back at camp and successfully navigated the social dynamics of the tribe, as well as Savannah's social politicking to keep the focus off of them each time. Rizzo also comments that he played to win rather than lose, and even though he ultimately did lose, he says he doesn't regret playing that hard, as becoming one of the Survivor greats has been a lifelong dream for him. As for his return to Survivor 50, Rizzo revealed he only had 2 weeks to prepare between seasons and didn't have time to practice making puzzles, as he spent that time with his family. However, he wasn't deterred and played to the best of his ability. Afterwards, Savannah discloses she's comfortable with the edit she got and doesn't mind being labeled a villain, mostly because the players she grew up watching and loving were villains as well, such as Boss Rob, Parvati, and Tony. Savannah says that players who fit this description are also needed in the new era, and she was happy to adopt this persona. When asked about Christina's jury question, which has sparked significant controversy on social media, Savannah answers, "Dude, I was internally seething. I'm like, Christina. I can laugh about it now because we are friends. I think the world of her. But yeah, honestly, it's just a reflection of what people look for in the person they want to give $1 million to. If someone doesn't like you, they don't have to give you the money." She continues, "That's kind of one of the most beautiful things about Survivor. Like, all of the qualifications to win can always be so different. And to me, I love old school Survivor. It felt like an old school question." For his part, Probst added that he thought Christina's question was fair within the game, as it is a social dynamics one, and wasn't, in fact, bitter or petty. Savannah also shares how she found out she had been invited to play Survivor 50 and admits she felt scared, surprised, and surreal, but there wasn't a scenario in which she would have said no. Jeremy asks Savannah if she noticed people's game shifting after Probst shared that there were still Survivor spots available on 50. Savannah responds that she personally didn't have that mindset, while others did, but her focus was solely on Survivor 49. As for her relationship with Rizzo on Survivor 50, Savannah says she was open to working with him again because of how well they did on their season. However, she was also aware that some people on Survivor 49 were more loyal to her than to him, which could be a potential hindrance. So, as long as it would serve her new game, especially as a winner in an all-star season, Savannah was open to working with her former ally once more. That's it for this season of the On Fire with Jeff Probst podcast recaps. See you all in February 2026 for Survivor 50, and stay tuned to Inside Survivor for more Survivor content during the off-season. As the sun sets over a remote Pacific island, a familiar voice echoes through the dense jungle: Jeff Probst. The Emmy-winning host of Survivor has spent more than 2 decades guiding players through the harsh landscapes, brutal challenges, and psychological games that have made the series a cultural phenomenon. With the conclusion of Survivor 49 and the excitement building for the Milestone Survivor 50, Probst took a rare moment to reflect on the past season while offering hints about what's to come. Survivor 49 was something special, Probst begins, his gaze fixed on the horizon as waves crash against jagged rocks. We had a cast that was fearless, unpredictable, and willing to take risks in ways I hadn't seen before. It reminded me why I fell in love with this show in the first place, because people reveal who they really are when they're pushed to the edge. The season was set against the backdrop of a tropical paradise, but as always, beauty did not equate to comfort. Contestants faced scorching heat, torrential rains, and the ever-present threat of hunger. Beyond the physical challenges, it was the social dynamics that captured Probst's attention. One of the things I always watch for is strategy, he says. Sure, challenges are exciting to film, but the real game is in the alliances, the backstabbing, and the way people adapt. In Survivor 49, we saw some incredible plays that reminded me why this show has lasted 25+ years. Players were thinking 3, 4, sometimes 5 moves ahead, and some of them pulled off blindsides that even shocked me. Indeed, one of the highlights of the season was a series of strategic maneuvers that kept viewers on the edge of their seats. Alliances shifted constantly, and no player was ever truly safe. Probst notes that while fans often debate who played the best game, what he values most is adaptability. Survivor is about evolution, he explains. It's about changing your strategy based on what's happening around you. That's what makes it exciting. And this season, we had players who evolved before our eyes. People who started as underdogs, but turned into power players. That's the beauty of it. But it wasn't just strategy that stood out in Survivor 49. The season also showcased human resilience in the face of adversity. Contestants struggled with injury, emotional stress, and the constant pressure of isolation. Probst emphasizes that these elements are what make the show resonate with audiences around the world. People watch Survivor and think it's just about competition, but it's really about humanity. You see people at their best, at their worst, and everything in between. That's what makes it compelling. That's why fans get so invested, because they see themselves in the players. Probst also reflected on the cast diversity of Survivor 49, noting that representation matters both on-screen and behind the scenes. He says, "We had an incredible mix of backgrounds, experiences, and personalities this season. It made for a richer game and a richer story. It's important that viewers see themselves reflected in the players. It makes the victories and the defeats that much more meaningful." As much as Probst celebrates the accomplishments of Survivor 49, his attention is already turning towards Survivor 50, which promises to be a landmark season. With a silver anniversary looming, speculation about twists, returning players, and celebrity appearances has been rampant. He says, "I can't give away too much," he warns, with a smile, "but I will say that Survivor 50 is going to honor the past while pushing the game forward. We're talking about some surprises that will excite longtime fans and newcomers alike. This is a season that's going to celebrate everything that's made the show great, but it's also going to challenge players in ways we've never done before." Probst reveals that the production team has gone above and beyond to create a season that feels both nostalgic and innovative. He says, "We're bringing back elements from classic seasons, but we're also introducing new twists that will change the way people think about the game. There's a balance between respecting the history of Survivor and keeping it fresh. That's always been the challenge and the fun." One intriguing aspect of Survivor 50 is the rumored involvement of past winners. Probst hints that the presence of past winners will add a layer of complexity and excitement to the season. He says,
"With more than 2 decades of experience hosting Survivor, Jeff Probst has witnessed countless strategies, alliances, and betrayals. However, there is something new with each season: unexpected turns, memorable characters, and events that even he could not have anticipated. Following the conclusion of Survivor 49, Probst took time to reflect on the season's highlights and tease what fans can expect in the Milestone Survivor 50. Survivor 49 was a season that really reminded me why I fell in love with this show, Probst says, his gaze fixed on the ocean horizon as waves crash against the rocks. "We had a cast that was fearless, creative, and willing to take risks. People really evolved over the course of the game, and that's always exciting to watch." The season took place in a picturesque tropical setting, but the players didn't feel at home there. Harsh weather, limited food, and the mental strain of social manipulation challenged contestants daily. Probst emphasizes that while viewers often focus on physical challenges, the real drama lies in the social game. "Strategy is what keeps the game interesting," he explains. "You might be strong in challenges, but you won't get very far if you can't navigate social dynamics." This season, we saw some incredible plays, alliances shifting, blindsides happening at unexpected times. Players were thinking several moves ahead, and it really paid off in memorable ways. Several contestants emerged as underdogs, only to become major players by the end of the season. Probst appreciates this aspect of the game. It's not just about who dominates physically. Survivor is about adaptability. Watching someone grow into their role, learn from mistakes, and make bold moves, that's what makes a season compelling. Beyond strategy and gameplay, Survivor 49 highlighted resilience. The contestants often worked alone and dealt with exhaustion, injuries, and emotional stress. Probst believes these struggles are what make the series so relatable and compelling. "People see themselves in the players," he says. "It's about pushing boundaries, facing fears, and seeing what you're capable of when all comforts are stripped away. That's the heart of Survivor." The audience connects with it because they understand those challenges, even in their own lives. Probst also praised the season's diversity. "We had a mix of backgrounds, experiences, and personalities that enriched the game," he says. "It strengthens the narrative and enhances its authenticity. Representation matters, and it resonates with viewers in a powerful way." Probst promises a season of Survivor 50 that will honor the show's history while introducing new elements to keep the game exciting. This historic season is about celebrating the legacy of Survivor and simultaneously pushing boundaries, he says. "We're introducing twists that will challenge even the most seasoned players. It's going to be intense, unpredictable, and incredibly fun to watch." Probst suggested that previous winners might appear, which added an additional layer of strategy and tension despite the fact that specifics are still being kept under wraps. "Playing against someone who's already won the game changes everything," he explains. "New players have to think differently when there are veterans in the mix. It raises the stakes and makes every decision crucial. The host also notes that challenges will push players both physically and mentally. We have created challenges that put intelligence, endurance, and strength to the test. You can't rely on one skill alone. You have to be well-rounded and think creatively under pressure. That's the core of the competition. Probst is careful to remind fans that despite all the twists and turns, the heart of Survivor is the social and human element. Challenges, strategy are exciting, but what really makes the show special is human connection. Who forms alliances? Who betrays trust? Who steps up in the toughest moments? Those are the moments that stick with viewers long after the game is over. He reflects on how the series has evolved over the years. Production values, locations, and twists have changed, but the essence hasn't. It's still about survival, strategy, and relationships. That is timeless and what keeps fans returning. Season 50 is going to honor that while delivering new experiences that feel fresh and exciting. When asked about his own role, Probst is candid. Being the host is more than just presenting challenges. It's about witnessing these incredible human stories unfold. Even after all these years, tribal councils still give me the creeps. Seeing raw emotion, strategic brilliance, and human perseverance, it never gets old. Probst also appreciates how long-time viewers remain loyal to the series. Our fans have been with us through the surprises, ups and downs, and memorable moments. Survivor 50 is a thank you to them. It's a celebration of the game, its participants, and the audience that has sustained the show for decades. As he teases the upcoming season, it's clear that Probst is excited about the possibilities. We've worked hard to make this milestone season memorable. There will be shocking moments, clever strategies, and emotional highs and lows. I can't wait for the public to see it. This season honors the past while looking towards the future, and that's what makes it so special. Reflecting on Survivor 49, Probst acknowledges the skill, courage, and resilience of the players. Every season, I'm amazed by how people rise to the occasion. Survivor 49 was no different. The game was fierce, the emotions were real, and the storylines were compelling. It reminded me why this show endures. It's not just a game, it's a journey. As our conversation concludes, Probst emphasizes that the magic of Survivor lies in its unpredictability. No matter how much you plan, how clever you are, or how strong you are, the game is always full of surprises. That's why people watch and why players keep coming back. You never know what's going to happen next, and that's the thrill. For fans eagerly awaiting Survivor 50, Probst leaves a final thought. This season will be a milestone in every sense. It's about celebrating the history of the show while giving players and fans something new and exciting. The challenges, the strategies, and the emotions will be at an all-time high. It's going to be unforgettable, and I couldn't be more thrilled to guide everyone through it. It's evident as the sun sets over the island that Survivor continues to captivate viewers by combining strategy, endurance, and genuine human emotion. With Jeff Probst at the helm, reflecting on the past and anticipating the future, Survivor 50 promises to be a season that honors the legacy while forging new paths in reality television. Whether you've followed the series since its first season or are just discovering it, the adventure is far from over. With high-stakes gameplay, unpredictable twists, and emotional journeys, Survivor remains a celebration of the human spirit, and Season 50 is set to be a milestone season fans won't soon forget. For more than 2 decades, Jeff Probst has been the guiding voice of Survivor, witnessing alliances form, strategies unfold, and contestants pushed to their physical and emotional limits. With the conclusion of Survivor 49 and the milestone Survivor 50 on the horizon, Probst took a rare moment to reflect on the season that just ended and tease what fans can expect from the landmark season. Survivor 49 was truly memorable, Probst begins, gazing out over a wind-swept beach. The cast was fearless, unpredictable, and incredibly strategic. Watching them evolve over the course of the game reminded me why I fell in love with this show. It's when people are pushed to their limits that the real magic happens. The season took place in a remote tropical island, offering breathtaking views but no comfort for the players. Contestants battled hunger, harsh weather, and the constant pressure of social strategy. Probst emphasizes that while viewers often focus on physical challenges, the real drama lies in the social game. Strategy is what keeps the game interesting, he explains. You might be strong in challenges, but you won't get very far if you can't navigate social dynamics. This season, we saw some incredible plays, alliances shifting, blindsides happening at unexpected times. Players were thinking several moves ahead, and it really paid off in memorable ways. Several contestants emerged as underdogs, only to become major players by the end of the season. Probst appreciates this aspect of the game. It's not just about who dominates physically. Survivor is about adaptability. Watching someone grow into their role, learn from mistakes, and make bold moves, that's what makes a season compelling. Beyond strategy and gameplay, Survivor 49 highlighted resilience. The contestants often worked alone and dealt with exhaustion, injuries, and emotional stress. Probst believes these struggles are what make the series so relatable and compelling. People see themselves in the players, he says. It's about pushing boundaries, facing fears,